that you had again of the Vibhuti
Yeah,
storm.
I had this dream while I was having my afternoon nap, and there was no form, there was nobody in the dream, but the sound of wind in the windows, and the howling sound of wind, if you know what I mean, in the storm. And all I could see was Vibhuti flying here and there. It was like a storm of Vibhuti was coming. And right that afternoon, the storm really did occur here because all the pictures were being splashed in the house with Vibhuti. It was like my dream come true.
Yeah. I think the greatest storm that we witnessed, somebody shouted, Sai Ram, and they started running back into the prayer room down here, and there was Vibhuti in one of the pictures, right? I think it started with the Vibhuti on the main
On the Om.
on the Om right here.
Yes.
Okay, after that it was a splash of sort of 8. We counted 8 at one time. We could see they just went back. It just happened split second. Only thing we could notice was this one up here on Shri Sai Baba is where my eye felt on. I could see the Vibhuti just coming out from the space here in the atmosphere and just going this way in a waveform and just sticking on the picture. I mean, of all these so many pictures on which we've seen Vibhuti and Kumkum and sandalwood, this is the only one we could see. At least I could see. I think when in the process of being split over the Bhabhi did. My wife did it too. Sunita did that too. But that was the one we could see in a split second, back to back, picture after picture was getting splash of Vibhutis on it. But that evening, as Veena said, Vibhutis was coming on pictures. You can say at intervals of 10-15 minutes, it'll come here and all the children will run in one corner of the house and make noise and joy and won't believe what's happening. And then they will run another corner of the house because Baba will chase them one place, show them the miracle, and then go other part of the house. To the extent it was coming so often that children kind of derived that Baba strikes twice. When he does it one picture, he hits somewhere else. He is hitting somewhere else, and they go all around the house and find where was the second strike. I mean, they experimented 2 times, 3 times. Yes, it did happen twice. Whenever he did it, he did 2 pictures back to back. But then he would just change his strategy. He'll be back to 3 strikes and be back to 1 strike. And we said you just cannot question the divine. He's just playing Leela. He's just playing games. You know, just like Bal Leelas Krishna used to play. He's just playing with children, playing with the visitors in the house, and it was just fantastic. Several times on that same evening, Vibhutis started coming. Visitors would come in the house. They're sitting up there. We're just talking to them. All of a sudden, Vibhuti will appear in some part of the house, and they'll also run it. It's sort of a special gift to each special person. You know, it was also by Wednesday, message had spread around quite a bit. So more so to non-devotees than devotees by Wednesday. That is prior to Janmashtami, which was Thursday. And more non-devotees were coming, and that's when we were seeing the frequency of appearance of Vibhutis on the picture was lot faster, and more non-devotees were there. Of course, since Wednesday night and Thursday, people have been coming from all centers in Connecticut and New York and upstate New York. And since then, of course, each center, people have been bringing their pictures and they're getting the Vibhutis blessed.
I want to share with you while you're talking, Ramesh.
Yeah.
And I'm now looking at a picture in the middle. Okay. In the middle of the screen. And on the video screen, the face of Baba, it looks as though he's wearing glasses.
Is
that the one?
As though it's your picture. No, I'm talking about the big picture.
This one?
On the screen here, it looks like you are Ramesh. Ramesh is Baba, and Baba is you.
Is that right?
The picture, it looks like Baba.
We'll see later.
His mustache is there, and everything is there. You'll have to see this on the screen. Now, you stayed in 1976 during my first visit. When I took this picture, I was asking Baba inwardly, when will I get an interview? And I had a full beard at that time.
Yes.
And when I looked, when this picture was developed, and I'll show you a picture sometime of it, when the picture was developed, it was not Baba's face, but it was mine. It was mine, and I was without a beard. I only had a mustache, and the camera that should have been in front of my eye was over on my right shoulder. Now this is in '76. I had no idea that I would be videotaping Sai Baba at that time. I came back in '78 with only a mustache, without a beard, and with a video camera on my right shoulder, not getting the connection till later on.
Right, yeah.
And that was when I got my first interviews with the Swami, was in '78. But you were seeing this from behind the camera.
Oh, do you want to comment what you saw?
Would you please comment, because you're right here.
Yeah.
I can hardly believe what I'm seeing, because it does not look like Baba's face. Not only that, in the picture, Baba is looking down at his hands. I'm looking at the picture now. But in the video screen, he is not looking down at his hands. He is looking up.
Wow.
He is looking up almost at me from the position I'm in. And the glasses, well, it's difficult to see, are pretty much in the shape of your glasses. And it looks like your face.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Jack, what we're going to discuss now, a brief first Leela experienced by a non-devotee who had come on Sunday evening, and there was a first bhajan session after the miracles happened Sunday morning, appearance of Amrut and small Kanta Vibhuti and Shirdi Sai picture. That evening we decided to do bhajans, and beautiful miracle happened, and that will be narrated by my wife on my right, Sunita, and Jaya Himrajani, who was the recipient of the miracle. And so I'll just hand over to them and let them describe.
Sunday evening after the kirtan, I made some prasad made out of cream of wheat. I offered half to the Lord in the prayer room, and I saved half of it in my kitchen, and pan was covered. When we finished all the prayers, I went to the kitchen and I opened the pan, and Sai Ram, my pan was full of vibhuti. And Jaya was standing next to me, and Jaya said, Sai Ram, today I seen Baba with my own eyes.
But Jaya did have some doubts, and some things were going in her mind during the prayer session. I think she can vouch for that and tell what was going on.
Yeah, when they were doing prayer, I was thinking that if God is there, He will show me now that He is really there. So when I saw Vibhuti, I believed in God.
Friday evening, she kept the statue and she left. When she left, she had only one thing in her mind, that I should get sandalwood and little bit of kumkum. And
could you tell why didn't you want Vibhuti, Jaya?
No, I said Vibhuti is coming all over. I have seen Vibhuti in my Prasad, so I wanted only this sandalwood and little bit kumkum, not more.
Was that your prayer?
Yeah, that was, if God wanted to bless me, He will give me only kumkum and chandan wood, nothing else. I am amazed. He gave me wherever I expected the kumkum, He has given the kumkum.
And it is surprising, Jack, what has happened on the night on which she has got kumkum and sandalwood. All the other pictures from Manhattan Center and Brooklyn Center, people who kept their pictures, they all got sandalwood. Jaya was the only recipient that night to receive kumkum and sandalwood as she had requested.
Tell us about the Prasad.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about Prasad here. Of course, over the last few days, Prasads have been blessed.
What is Prasad?
Prasad is an offering to God before you start doing the prayers. And then after the prayers, that Prasad is shared among all the people participating in the prayer meeting. This morning, several devotees from Hartford area visited here, and they were very much moved about by seeing all these miracles. They said, can we do some bhajans? We said, feel free, and they sang 15-20 minutes bhajans, and Sunita, while they were singing bhajans, I believe Sunita was making the prasad, and she brought in and offered it to the Lord. And after they finished the puja, bhajan sessions, and they did the arti, Prasad was open, and lo and behold, see what they found inside the Prasad. Right there is a handful of sandalwood powder, as a special blessings to these devotees who came from Hartford area, as of a recognition from Baba, saying, well, I knew that you were here, I listened to your bhajans.
I'd like to introduce here my brother Suresh Wadhwani, who was a total skeptic. He's right here with me, and he never used to believe in Baba. And when all these things started happening here, he believed in his own guru, who is Sarvanand. And he took a picture of his guru and kept it under Baba's chair here behind me. And he went to office. He didn't tell anyone about it. When he came back, he went straight for the picture and he looked at it, and there was nothing on it. And he said, I knew it. Put it there. And he went put it in the bedroom. He said, oh, I know nothing's going to come on it. And I think you spoke sarcastically and said, if you're God, come and show me, right?
Well, something similar to that.
Yeah. And what happened, I would like you to say.
Well, 30 minutes later, I see this kids come screaming up to me saying, the picture's full of vibhuti, and I still wasn't convinced. I put another picture there in the room, and 15 minutes later, the kids come screaming again. I was performing an experiment, physical experiments. I put up a third picture, and an hour later it comes. My final thing, yesterday I put this small picture there.
Right here.
That one there. And this morning, it's filled with sandalwood. I've seen these things happening for 3 years now, and I've always tried to find explanations for it. And I've even accused her of being the one who's been putting it on all the pictures.
He used to say, I am the one who put it on.
I try and find excuses and explanations. Well, I wouldn't go straight ahead and say I'm a complete believer, but I've at least stopped seeking explanations for these miracles. Allah Malik.
You can see? This is a picture from one of the centers. It was just brought in. I don't know which center it is from, but the people who brought it were so disappointed that there was nothing on it and they were going to leave. Just before they left, they had sandalwood on their wedding rings, and then they decided to leave the picture here. Well, that's the picture right there, and there's amrit flowing from the mouth, which has just a few seconds ago started dripping. It goes right down Baba's robe, I think up to his knees, or wherever the picture ends.
You can only catch it on the chin. You can see it from the middle of his chin.
Oh yeah. You can't see it down the robe?
No, you can't in the lights.
Oh. The room we are in now is Arti's room. Arti is Ramesh's youngest daughter, and she's his last daughter. And she has this picture of Baba right above where she sleeps. And this picture was the first in this house after the Amrit and the Vibhuti on the Shirdi Baba statue. Out of the pictures, this was the first one that had Vibhuti on. At first, it was just a splash there. You can notice the two different shades of Vibhuti. One is a lighter shade and one is a darker shade. The lighter shade came on first. And yesterday morning, it had these other shades of Vibhuti in a darker shade all over his face, his hands, his knees, his legs, and there's a picture of Shirdi Baba behind him which is also covered in Vibhuti.
It's an interesting thing that we see as we go from room to room. I'm sure questions come up, well, what if somebody is just throwing Vibhuti on the pictures? An interesting thing to see if you happen to be here is that there is very little Vibhuti anywhere below the picture. It merely seems to be on the picture itself. Now, if anybody has handled this ash, and you try to throw it against something without anything bouncing off and spilling, it's an interesting task.
Na- It means the first line, Ana hi padega, Bhakto ne hai aaj pukara, is devotees are calling upon you, Baba. The second line is Humne pukara Baba, sabne pukara. I have called upon you, everyone else is calling upon you. Ana hi padega Baba, ana hi padega.